Hazel Jane Kalin from It's Fitness, and we've had a very busy day. Kelsey and Ari, her little puppy, we've been to the park and we did our exercises, and now it's time to nourish our bodies. So tonight we are going to make a barbecued beer can chicken, and that's what Kelsey calls it. I call it a beer butt chicken, but whatever you want to call it, it is a delectable way to cook chicken. You take a whole one and you spice it all up, put it onto a beer can, and then you pop it into the barbecue, put the lid down, and just let it go right ahead and cook for you. So watch, enjoy, and I'll show you what it's all about. Okay, so the first thing I did was I washed my chicken all up inside and out, and then I dried it. I took out, I'm going to take out any of this little extra fat. I'm going to put salt and pepper on the inside and all over the outside of my bird. There's the pepper. There's the salt. So I give it a nice little dusting both inside and out. And we're almost ready now to put it on the barbecue. Okay, so now, because I'm going to make a homemade barbecue sauce to go onto my chicken for tonight, I'm not going to bother rubbing garlic on the outside, but sometimes I take it and I rub garlic on the outside, and then I put snipped rosemary, or sometimes I take basil, any kind of flavoring that you sort of like, and herbs, and you can rub it on the outside before you put it onto the barbecue. Sometimes I squeeze lemon on it while it's cooking. Just kind of depends on what kind of a mood that I'm in. But tonight I'm going to make a little bit of a homemade barbecue sauce. I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. This is kind of the gravy for the cook. I'm going to take a can of beer. And because you don't actually need an entire can of beer, I usually pour out, so I have about a half a can. There's about my half a can. And this I get to drink. So who's ever the cook, they get to have the beer that's left over that doesn't go inside the chicken. Wonderful. Okay, we're ready to take our chicken to the barbecue and to put it onto the beer can. And I'm at Kelsey's home today, so I'm cooking in her kitchen. But at home I have a little pan like this with, it's a special thing for doing beer butt chicken. And it's got a little prong that you put the can into and that sort of thing. But we don't have that, so you're gonna have to be a little bit more careful when you're setting it up so that the chicken doesn't actually fall over with the can. And so I'm gonna take my chicken, lift it up. I'm going to take my can, hold it very carefully. I'm going to slide the chicken onto the can. That's why I call it beer butt chicken. Then I'm going to take my can and I'm going to very carefully place it in the center of my barbecue. And there we have our chicken standing up. I'm going to take this, and my oven's at about 350, and I'm going to gently close the lid so that it doesn't come out. Now, because I've had this open for a few minutes, the barbecue's going to lose its temperature, but with the lid closed again, it's going to come back up. So you want to be between 350 and 400, just depending on your barbecue, and just keep a kind of an eye over. It's going to take a couple hours, just like it does in a regular oven, but it's going to come out, it's going to be all toasty brown and very delicious. And the beer inside of the can is going to come out, and it's going to make it very tender and very moist. So we're going to leave our chicken for a little while, and then we'll see how it's doing. Now for the barbecue sauce, it's really very simple. Now, why I make my own homemade barbecue sauce is because I don't like that fake smoke flavor. And whether it's an organic barbecue sauce or not, it all has that in it. And so I make my own, and it's really very simple. And I really like it. It's quite tasty. So I'm going to take about a quarter cup of butter, And I'm going to add a half a cup of diced white onion to it. And then I'm going to put it onto the stove and melt this until the onions are translucent. Okay, so as you can see, my butter and onions and garlic are bubbling away. Oh my God, it smells so good. I just love the smell of the garlic and the onions melting away and bubbling away in the butter. Okay, so now that my onions are a little bit translucent, I'm going to take and I'm going to add 1 cup of ketchup to it. And then this is a combination of 1 tablespoon of mustard. You can use any kind of mustard that you want. I used a Dijon mustard, but you can use a grainy mustard. You can use, you know, pretty much anything. And 1 tablespoon of sriracha sauce, and 1 tablespoon of Frank's Red Hot sauce, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And I like the dark brown sugar because it gives a really nice coloring to it, but you can use any brown sugar that you want. So now I'm going to squeeze some lemon juice into it. And you know what, you can use any kind of gadgets and tools that you want, but I still like to cook with my hands. So, and I do it this way because then I catch all the seed in my fingertips. And then once it's ready and our chicken is just about done, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to barbecue it. I'm going to baste it onto the chicken on the barbecue. Okay, so we're going to open up our chicken. Oh, look at that. It looks delectable. So I'm going to now take and I'm going to brush it lightly with my barbecue sauce. Just be really careful because remember it's sitting on that beer can. Okay, and I'm going to turn it right down. I'm just going to let this sort of cook onto the top of it so the skin gets sort of nice and crusty. And then when I come out again, I'm going to kind of turn it around a little bit and I'm going to baste the front of it and give it another little bit of a baste, and then I'm going to just leave it sit in here for a few minutes on really low. And I think what I'll do is I'll turn one burner off and just leave the one on. So we'll check it again in 5-10 minutes and we'll give it another little baste. Okay, so now I'm going to carve up my barbecued chicken, and it's cooked to perfection. And I always like to take the leg and the thigh off together. Make sure the skin's cut. There's my thigh and my leg. And I'm going to take off a wing. And I'm going to do some breast meat for those who like the breast. There's the chicken, and you can serve it with a little bit of additional barbecue sauce if you want to do something along that line, or you can serve it just as it is.